Joining us again is Robert and his wife, Stephanie. Now, these two have had a long, tumultuous journey here on The Maury Show. I mean, before I tell you why Robert and Stephanie have returned, take a look at their past appearances. The first time we met Stephanie, she was here to prove to her husband, Robert, that he was the father of her son, Caleb. Shockingly, Stephanie's brother, Edgar, was on Robert's side.
Stephanie, you know you're lying. You told me that you were cheating on Robert behind his back.
Why do you deny this child?
Because he's putting it in my head that he's not mine. He's saying Stephanie slept around on me multiple times.
Robert, you are the father. 10 months later, Stephanie and Robert returned because Robert was now denying he fathered Stephanie's daughter, Nicole. You blame the aunt as much as you blame Robert.
Yes. She's a bitch.
Now, your brother, Edgar, right?
Yes.
Who was against you last time, guess what?
He's on my
Edgar's your support system this time.
You were proven wrong last time, and you're gonna look dumb today.
In the case of 4-month-old Nicole, Robert, you are the father. 1 year later, Stephanie brought Robert back to the show for a lie detector test after finding evidence she said proved he cheated.
Let me show you.
You put gloves on?
I don't even want to touch it, Maury. It's so nasty. Like, seriously? Panties, Maury. In a tank top. A tank top. That's not even mine. Why would you send your private?
Why?
Would you,
Because that was a mess up on my part.
That was a mess up.
That was wrong of me. It was wrong.
The moment he came out, he was like, yo, bro, let's hit the bar. Let's go talk to some girls.
But why would you condone it if you're her brother, though, right?
Hey, but you know what? I told you right.
During your relationship with Stephanie, have you had sexual contact of any kind with any other woman? You said no, and Ralph, the lie detector test determined
you were telling the truth.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you all. Thank you all. Yes.
okay. So after Robert passed, he thought it would be a fresh start for his family. But a month later, he says Stephanie took their 2 children and left in the middle of the night. And then Robert discovered that Stephanie was sleeping with another guy and that she was pregnant. So today, Stephanie's baby, Ricky, is 9 months old, and Robert is anxious to find out if he's the father. Wow. Robert, it's a long story for you on my show, a long story.
Point where I was sleeping one night and she had took off to Phoenix, Arizona with my son and my daughter.
Just took off? No,
Yes.
no explanation?
No explanation. She just packed her stuff, packed my son and my daughter's stuff, and just left.
And then did you try to follow her? Did you know where she went?
I didn't know she was up in Phoenix until the next morning, and I got a hold of her, and I asked her where she was at, and she kept, like, speculating. She wouldn't tell me where she was at, and then I eventually found out that she came to Phoenix, Arizona.
How did you find out that she was with another guy?
I found out she was pregnant because I went through my family's Instagram messages, and I was scrolling through all the messages, and then I found that she was pregnant, and then that picture she had sent to my family member, and that's how I found out.
Did you go back to Arizona to try to be with her or not?
No, I did not. I wasn't around the time when she was almost full term and due to have the baby.
By the way, when you had gone to Arizona the first time, you all were sleeping with each other, right? So so she was sleeping with you and the other guy at the same time.
Yes. I had came out to visit my son and my daughter. About a month and a half later, we started, to try to co-parent. She told me to come out to see my son and my daughter. I was out in Arizona for a couple of months, and those times I was having a sexual relationship with her, and up until the time I left back to California in July.
Do you believe that you're Ricky's father?
I don't believe he's mine, Maury, to be honest. I see features like he looks like my daughter, Nicole.
You all are back together, right?
Yes.
You're raising this child as your own.
Yes. I am taking care of that baby. I buy him diapers. I fully support him, and I'm not going, to the point to, if he's not my child, I'm not gonna abandon that child because I bonded with him, I fell in love with him, and I play with him every day. And if he comes not to be my child, I am gonna step up and be his father.
You say that Stephanie is in this situation because of her insecurities. What do you mean by that?
Her actions, you know, she's a grown woman, just like I'm a grown man, and I feel to the point to, you know, I'm still your husband and we're still legally married, and it was wrong for her to have to come up here and then meet another man and fool around with him at the same time, fool around with me, because now you got an innocent baby brought into it that did not ask to be here. I love Stephanie with the bottom of my heart. Nobody's perfect, Maury. She's made mistakes, and as well as I have, you know, and I just want, you know, her to know that I'm going to be her support system, and I don't want her to think I'm going to be like the rest of these men out here, and, you know, if I'm not the father, and then I'm just going to skedaddle.
Stephanie, first question my viewers would have is, why did you take your 2 kids and leave in the middle of the night?
Maury, it was my insecurities. I wanted to believe the lie detector test, but my heart and my soul and everything was just telling me, like, I still didn't believe it. I couldn't believe that he was loyal, that he didn't cheat. So it was my fault. I left because of my insecurities.
You hurt me, though, Stephanie. Like, you hurt me.
I had to go because I couldn't bear to even tell you goodbye because it would hurt me even more.
Stephanie, when you left, you assumed that you wouldn't see Robert again?
I assumed I wouldn't. I wanted to work on myself, just, you know, to fix on my insecurities and work on myself and just try to get back to my normal self. So that way, when we did come back together, we could be more happier than what we were before.
Sounds like you didn't do a good job of it, because you met a guy who, as soon as you told him you were pregnant, he disappeared on you.
And what was the whole point, Stephanie, of separating from me just to bring me all the way out here just to, you know, have sexual relations with me?
I made a mistake, Robert. Like, you can't sit here and keep putting that on me. Like, yes, I made a mistake. But
you got me all the way out here, though. You got me all the way.
So we could get away from everything.
You got me all the way out here. I was living in a tent, Stephanie, on a dirt lot, just so I could be close to my children.
Did Robert know that you were sleeping with this other guy? He didn't know, did he?
He knew. We had an open relationship. Even though we were separated, we were on and off with each other. He was sleeping around with other women, and I was, you know, sleeping with another man.
We were supposed to be one soul together, not for you to go out into a different state and then think it's okay to start a new family.
You don't think I sit here and cry about it every day? You don't sit here and think that I know I made a mistake?
You found out you were pregnant. Did you think it was the other guy's child, or did you think it was Robert's child?
I think it's Robert's, only because around the time I got pregnant was the last time I had slept with him. And when I found out I was pregnant, it was to the point where it was only a couple weeks before I found out I was pregnant. But when I slept with the other guy. You
told the other guy that he might be the father?
No, I didn't tell him. I just, when I found out I was pregnant, I had called Robert first. I let Robert know. He was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Like, he was kind of happy, you know, it was another chance to be a father. And then when I had spoken to the other guy after I called Robert, he was like, well, it's not mine, and hung up on me and never called me back.
How would you describe your relationship with Robert today?
I mean, it's still a little bit rocky. We're working day by day. It is getting better, but we are a happy family again.
If I show that Robert is not the father of Ricky, is that going to damage the relationship further?
I hope it doesn't, because the relationship he has with the baby, it's the best thing I've ever seen.
I'm not like most men out there that aren't going to step up. I told you I will step up if that child is not mine.
This is what I don't understand, Stephanie. You just raised your arm. That's the biggest tattoo of a man's name I've ever seen. and yet you slept with another guy. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I made the biggest mistake, Maury, to even sit there and separate from my husband. I regret it every day. I should have never left. I should have stayed with my family and worked it out. I love you. I want this to work, and I want to be the happy family again.
Here we go. In the case of 9-month-old Ricky, Robert, you are not the father.
Don't cry. It's not your fault.
It is my fault.
No, it's not, Stephanie. Everybody in life makes mistakes. All that matters is I'm gonna fight for this marriage, and I'm like I told Maury, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna raise this baby regardless.
You are not the father.